Dear students, in this lesson, A Soldier's Son, written by Shobha Ghosh, we come across a small boy who exhibits his patriotism and saves a soldier from the enemies by his bravery and courageous act. Children, follow the mode of reading as I read the first paragraph. The plane was veering and shuddering in the sky. It was losing height rapidly and hurtling towards the earth. It would be a matter of minutes before it crashed. A figure fell out of the fiery object that was plummeting down to earth. A white structure mushroomed and opened like a flower in the sky, and the man floated gently down with the wind to the ground. Dear children, sometimes when you are riding your cycle, you lose balance. What happens that time? The direction changes and you start moving your handle and you are not able to have control over the cycle, isn't it? So same thing happened here. There was a plane which was losing control and balance, and out of that fiery plane, a pilot suddenly plummeted down towards the earth with the help of a parachute. A small boy, maybe 10 or 12 years old, that is of your age, he was watching all this. He came out from the clump of trees and went towards the wounded soldier. Clump of trees, children, it's a collective noun. He had seen the plane shot down by enemy fire and the pilot parachute down from the flaming plane. The boy said, "Come with me, sir. The enemy will be here any minute. There is no time to lose. There is an army camp nearby. You will be safe there." With the boy's help, the pilot tried to move further, but he was unable since he was wounded very badly. He staggered, that is, he was unable to walk steadily. The pilot was not able to speak. He muttered under his breath and asked the boy whether he could help him. But he said, "Better don't take a chance." The boy said, "Not a chance, sir, a certainty. What do you want me to do?" Though the man's hands were bleeding, he fumbled inside his pocket and took a packet of papers and said, "Take this to the commanding officer of the army unit. Tell him this must reach the Air Force Station Ambala by night. Avoid the enemy and run for your life. I can escape. I will try and distract them." "Yes, sir," said the boy with a smart salute. The man could not help smiling, although he was grimacing with the pain of his injuries. He began to crawl away from the boy in the opposite direction. The enemy tried to chase him and shot at him. The cartridges fell everywhere around him, but somehow he ran fast and reached the sentry post of the army unit. "Take me to the Commander Sahib. There is something I have to deliver to him." But the sentry said, "Little boy, you cannot go to the Commander Sahib, since no one is allowed to go to his room unless it is very important." The boy said, "What I have is really very important. It's from the pilot whose plane was shot down." The sentry spoke into the field telephone. A sepoy came to the sentry post and took the boy to the Commander Sahib. The Commander Sahib inquired about the boy. The boy introduced himself as Makbul Bhatt and that he was the son of a soldier who was awarded a medal for bravery. He narrated the whole incident to the Commander Sahib and said that the packet should reach Ambala tonight and it was very important. Listening to the boy, the Commander Sahib asked him, "Son, weren't you afraid of the enemy?" Makbul Bhatt said, "My father told me never to be afraid of the enemy. They can't do anything if our number is not written on the bullet." Number not written on the bullet means if the time hasn't come for us to die, then the bullet cannot do anything to us. The boy gave all the necessary information to the commander officer and he said, "Sir, if you take jeeps, you will be able to surround them and catch them very easily." 5 minutes later, the group of enemy soldiers found themselves surrounded by jeeps. There was no escape. One of them started to run, but realized it was of no use. Throwing down his gun, he raised his hands above his head. The enemy was rounded up and the pilot rescued. He was bleeding, for he had been dragged along when he failed to rise and walk even when prodded with bayonets. He was muttering something incoherently. That means his words were not clear. He was saying, "Boy, packet." He could say no more and he was taken to the military hospital. The commanding officer said, "Thank you, my brave son. Now you must be taken home. Your mother will be worried about you." Makbul Butt said, "I am Makbul Butt, son of India. This is my land and these are my brothers. It is here that I was born and nurtured. My father's blood is mixed with the soil of this land and my mother's tears water the earth on which our crops grow. My loyalty rests here with my brothers, blood relations of the soil, for we have broken bread on the same land." Saying this, suddenly he fell down. He had got wounds when the enemy had chased him while running away from the pilot. The commanding officer gathered the fallen figure in his arms and carried him to the ambulance. Major Dogra moved fast towards him and gently eased his leg into a more comfortable position. The commanding officer frowned in worry. His eyes brimmed with tears. His eyes were full of tears looking at this boy. But Makbul Butt said to him, "A soldier never weeps, sir." So even in this condition, the boy was showing his bravery and courage by consoling the officer. When Makbul said this, the officer remembered his son who was a soldier and who had died fighting in a war. His son had also told him the same thing, that is, a soldier never runs from the enemy. "Father, you told me so. He must face the bullets even when they tear his chest to shreds." So Makbul's words reminded the officer of his son who had died in the 1971 war. Makbul consoled the major saying, "Sir, I will be all right. I am a soldier's son and I too will become a soldier when I grow up." The major felt proud of this little boy and encouraged him. He said, "You, my child, are a soldier already. We are proud of you." Dear children, in this lesson you see how brave and courageous Makbul Butt was in spite of being such a small child. He used his common sense, he did not get scared, but he saved the pilot and rescued him from the enemy. Go through these meanings, learn them and try to use them in sentences in your daily communication.